Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Plasma 1945, and this is part 2 of the Mig-29 familiarization video. In this video, we'll be focusing on the instrument panel within the Mig-29 in preparation for the release of the full fidelity module. The information in this video is based on declassified official documentation in English, German, and Russian, and will continue off from the last video, link to which you should see in the top corner. You will be starting up your aircraft by using the right-hand panels, first by turning on the aircraft generator, then by powering up your systems, and then flipping across to the left side underneath the throttle to turn on your fuel flow for the left and right engine. Now, once this is selected, go back to the right panel, and from here you'll be able to trigger either the APU start or trigger the engine auto start, and by default it'll always start up the left engine first and then the right. Now, looking straight ahead below the HUD, we will look at the cockpit instruments. Starting in the left top hand corner, we have our airspeed indicator. To the right of it is the ADI, showing us the attitude of our aircraft. And to the right, we have our vertical velocity indicator. Crossing to the other side of the stick, we have our radar altitude indicator. And to the right of it is the tachometer for each of the engines. Further along, we have our fuel state with fuel tanks and drop tanks, and then our notification display for errors and alerts. Tucked away in the very left corner on the next row is our barometric altimeter, followed by the HSI for compass, heading, and bearings. Behind the stick, we can't see it, but we'll look closer at it in a moment, is the Mach speed indicator, two dials which indicate the exhaust gas temperature, and all the way back to the left is our flap, gear, and air brakes. Then we have the clock for the aircraft and our hydraulics and gas pressure. The two vertical white bars with the numbers is the air intake position, and last but not least is the SPO15 RWR. Now that we've had a chance for an overview, let's look closer at each component. The row of vertical lights are the status indicators. These will light up with the different statuses. Red and orange is bad, green is good. So for example, it says that trimmer is enabled. To the left of it, on the top row, is our ecran, which is a small status indicator with a small LCD screen. Further left is our fuel state. The white bar will go from top to bottom as we run out of fuel. Then the tachometer, showing the RPM of each of the two engines. In Soviet aircraft, everything up to 100 is non-afterburner. Everything from 100 to 110 is afterburner. To the left of it, we've got our radar altitude. Down from that, we've got the EGT, which shows us the temperature of the gases. Then below that, we have our O2 status. The four bars with orange, green, yellow, and red is the hydraulic fluid reservoir and hydraulic pressure indicators. And then to the right of that is the air intake angle, which will vary based on our speed and altitude. And finally, the SPO15 RWR. For the details on the RWR, a video link should pop up in the description or in the top corner. Now, let's bring our view to the left side of the panel and work our way through it. Let's zoom in and focus on the vertical velocity indicator, which is designed to show our rate of climb or sink. It also has a slip indicator. This is when you apply the rudder. The slip indicator is the dot that will go left or right. Finally, we have our bank indicator, and this is when you are making a turn with your aircraft. Just to the left of it is our attitude direction indicator, which will show our heading, our slip, and the bank of the aircraft, as well as the pitch, that's nose up or down. The open white circle and smaller dots on the top and the side will provide us guidance as to where we should be positioning our aircraft. And to the very left in the top row, we have our airspeed indicator. Now, looking down from that is our barometric altitude, and that is based on the air pressure outside of our aircraft. And then just below it is our flaps gear state. The large compass dial is our HSI. The HSI is a critical navigation component tied into your autopilot and other systems. It allows you to know direction to your waypoints. your current flow and position, and your bearing. The localizer and glide slope bars allow you to plan your approaches towards required waypoints. To the right of it is the Mach speed indicator, and if you look just to the right of the Mach speed indicator, that is your remaining flare count. Now looking down from that, we have our analog clock for planning and synchronizing our flight events. As we're getting ready for the Mig-29 full fidelity release from Eagle Dynamics, I hope you're finding these videos interesting and build up your knowledge of the Soviet aircraft and their platforms. The next video will focus on takeoff and operations within flight. Remember, this is based on the Mig-29A module within DCS World currently available, not the full fidelity module, but you can build up your muscle memory, identification of instruments, and functionality of the aircraft. Let me know if you're liking the pace of these videos and if you require more detail on any of the functionality, or if this level of information is sufficient. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and as I mentioned before, support the channel by subscribing, leaving a comment, hitting a like, and sharing the video. I'll see you back in Area 51 next week.